Hello, we're the Strypes, and you're watching Secret Fangirls. I would say it is probably loud, fast.
Fast and loud. That's only two. It's four, repeating two of the words. Loud, fast, fun, and gas. Slightly rhymes as well. Do we get points for it? Half rhyming.
Half rhymes.
My mind on the tip of my tongue, begging to be forgotten.
Well, I suppose we all had kind of different experiences growing up, but we all kind of came from sort of musical families. Our parents had all had something to do with bands when they were growing up, so there was always music in the house. And yeah, so my parents were just total music fanatics, so there was a huge amount of Beatles being played growing up, and like a lot of kind of just there was a general Beatlesy vibe knocking around, and they were also big into people like Elvis Costello and Nick Lowe, who we later became interested into, and all that kind of like new wavy kind of era of music. There was a lot of that played, like Ian Dury, stuff like that, and a lot of roots music like blues, rockabilly, old Motown, everything like that. And then we also had current bands we listened to, like we listened to, you know, the Fratellis and Kaiser Chiefs. We were those kids of that generation, so that was any other bands?
Not really, no. Like, I basically grew up in Evan's house, so all the stuff he digested as he grew up, I digested too as well. You know, what are the current bands? No, we were like the right age for like the Kaiser Chiefs and all those bands as well, but like they wouldn't necessarily be an influence on us, but just that was music we listened to at the time, like the Hoosiers as well. I don't know if the Hoosiers were ever a band here in America, but they were great. Yeah,
so that was what was just on, like just fun current music, and then they was
like in our early teens, and we got like mad into, myself and Ev sort of went absolutely nuts over. The first band we went over nuts over was the Yardbirds.
Yeah,
like properly, like we need to know everything about this band, every B-side, every rarity recording disc thing that we can find. We'll get our hands and we'll listen to that. And then it was Dr. Feelgood after that. That was, we saw Oil City Confidential, the film by Julian Temple, and went, they're clearly one of the greatest bands of all time. And then found one of the, luckily the next band we massively got into was one of the other greatest bands of all time, was The Who. So we were lucky enough that all the bands we got into the first time round were all the best bands ever.
Yeah, we were very lucky. And so like that kind of came along, so the kind of The Who, Dr. Feelgood kind of side of things. We also got into the original old blues stuff, and like Bo Diddley, Howlin' Wolf, and all sorts of stuff from back then, and all kind of rootsy sort of stuff. So it was a huge expanse of music, and then it became more new wave and punk and stuff like that. We got into all that later on as well.
What can we tell them about the surprising adult adventures, Ev? Other than the fact that they're happening right now.
It's got so big time. It's like
it'll soon be on Irish television. No, it won't be.
It's going to get syndicated. Hulu have been talking about getting it up. No,
pitching
some big directors' names being flying about.
Ron Howard will not. Ron Howard will not leave me alone. I can't pick up my phone without hearing it's triple texting me at this stage, and I give him back whatever. Ron, grand.
You send him an emoji or two.
Yeah, he sends me. He wants Patrick Bateman to play me. Yeah. No, is that his name? Is that the lad from Rest of It? No, he wants Will Arnett's playing me, and I'm like, get Kevin Bacon, or I'm going home.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's you're a stickler for the bacon.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Well, if I was to get anyone to play me, I'd get
Larry David.
No, it wasn't War Games and Ferris Bueller. Matthew Broderick. Is playing me. That's just it. Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan, yeah.
Then we got the power couple.
We got this kind of like that dynamic. So the real life dynamic wouldn't sell to a large audience.
Obviously, for me.
No. Peter Mayhew, the lad who plays Chewbacca. That's just been decided for years.
Yeah, your man that does Darth Vader's voice.
James Earl Jones as Ross.
Yeah.
I thought I was the girl from New Girl. Thought that was me. Anyway,
no, Jonathan Joy Chanel. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
So the Dull Adventures came about. I'll turn that off because that's going to be in the Dull Adventures now. So
that is the Dull Adventures.
It came about. Bands have been doing tour diaries for years. Clearly, it's not a new concept.
Established history.
But having them short and succinct and not full of shite is apparently a new concept. And we just at the start of we did a festival in Ireland called Electric Picnic. And I brought that GoPro with me and just filmed us having fun. We stayed for the weekend, we were playing, and I just filmed the whole thing and then put Sparky's Dream by Teenage Fan Club over it. I thought, that looked great, that was really cool, and I showed it to everyone and they said, that was really fun, yeah, we should do those while we're away at gigs. So then we did a tour, started in this tour we did at the UK in September, and I've just done them ever since. The 50th episode actually went up today. So we're 50 episodes deep. So every gig we do, I'll film during the day, at night, edit it all together, and then about a day or two later I'll put it up. And like it's been pretty every 3 days since then a video's gone up, which is pretty consistent.
And the series has gone through many format changes.
First of all, it was very much detailing just the day, the process of the day. There was
constant musical backing at first, and now it's just gone. We're in our kind of psychedelic experimental.
There's lots I figured out how to layer images on top of one another and fade the opacity and all that. So there's a lot of that being thrown in as well. The picture-in-picture thing as well is pretty cool. Yeah. But it's good. It's handy. Like the amount of people that like they're watched like maybe a couple of hundred times on YouTube. It's not we're not talking big viewerships here. I'm not like PewDiePie is not bricking it at me, coming hot on his heels. Like, but. People that come up to the gigs. There was a young lad who came up in Washington DC and said he was only about 10 and said like I watch them every morning for breakfast before I go to school. And I was going, that's really cool. People enjoy that, and everyone at home loves it as well. Like mum and dad send me a text, the new episode's great, really enjoy it. So it's a nice wee insight into how everything goes. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's crazy. We're amazed at how many people say it. It's like become.
It's really cool. Like, it's good.
The more people say it to us, then it actually has views underneath the
then
video.
Watch it. Yeah. That's when something becomes trendy. It's like
they obviously see the notification, like it's probably grand, and don't watch it. But yeah. We'll soon start making a moolah on it when I put the AdSense on YouTube and the ads start popping up in the middle. No, but like again, it was the thing. Like I was looking up other bands ones, and they were all about 8 to 10 minutes long, and I was like, I've tried to keep it as strict as I could to like a 2.5 minutes. Easy to digest, not like a mile long video.
Yeah, like. And it's like just having fun with the software as well. It's like not just a straightforward thing.
Yeah, it's good crack, and people just enjoy it. And like I didn't think I'd actually like thought like after like a few episodes it'd just like fall away. But once
if I was doing it, it'd just peter out after about 3.
Hey, peter out. Yeah, that'd be my radio show. Peter out. And but the radio show starts to fade instantly. That's the concept of the show.
Yeah, like this series petered in big time.
Petered in, exactly. Yeah. It's petered on.
It's petered on.
But no, it's good fun. Yeah, people seem to enjoy it. No, it's good crack. Like, and even like I spend ages like little like traveling sequences, putting music over them, edit them all very well together, and like no one gives a shite. Like really, but like the level I worked on one for like 7 hours one time for like a 1 second clip, or like a 1 minute clip like that. A couple hundred people are going to see, but still, it's good fun. Good crack. Like, people that do come up and say, it's really good fun. I go, yeah, well that's worth it. Then,
mission accomplished.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, like originally, like once when we kind of like got signed and we were kind of got into the music business kind of first, and we were just kind of a buzz sort of band. We met a load of people we were really into. So like Wilco Johnson from Dr. Feelgood, and we did meet Daltrey and Townsend, and huge amount of people like Dave Edmonds we met, who was a huge influence on us when we were like really getting into bands and stuff. We met him in Wales.
Yeah, he came down to Rockfield, and we had like, he's famous for being like one of the biggest Telecaster players of all time, and there was a B-bender telly which is designed to sound like a country style of playing, which he's mad into, and she said like, oh look, there's a B-bender over there, why don't you have a play, and whatever, and he picked it up and went, yeah, I suppose it's fine, let me show you magic tricks, and spent 2 hours showing us magic tricks. And so like we were sitting there going, here's Dave Edmonds, one of the greatest guitarists, the English Chuck Berry, going like pulling cards out of our arses and going, whoa, all this sort of stuff. And we were going, he'd been part of the LA Secret Circle for like 15 years, and it's never ever been documented ever. It's like he has the ultimate party trick in that he has a whole career as a magician alongside being a musician.
Yeah, his like magic skills equal that of his guitar playing,
which is pretty nuts. But what were you going to say? Your example? Was that
no, that was a huge moment, because he's an absolute boyhood hero of mine, and I would still say in terms of being a producer and a musician and all that, he's one of the best. The thrill of just seeing kind of American iconography and stuff in real life, you know what I mean? Like we've all, obviously, like you grow up with like all American music and movies and TV shows and all that, and all the kind of reference points are there. And then so there's a huge amount of the time we just spent kind of like living off the novelty, like seeing all the things like we were pointing at, like especially we drove from Austin to Nashville, and like it was like a 14-hour drive, and it was like we were all shattered by the end of it, but we spent the drive like looking at seeing all these like real like southern looking kind of farm buildings and like billboards with crazy things on them, and like
we pulled in to see Sun Studios, and it was great to see all the music iconography was great, but even seeing signs for like the Louisiana Purchase and like all that. So even we went through New Jersey there yesterday, and myself and Ross are huge fans of Wayne fans, and they're from New Jersey, so like seeing signs for Hack and Sack and like the mall with the Purley Road Valley Mall's about, and all this, you're looking at it all and going, I can totally see where all those sort of songs came out of. So that was very cool. But even like
the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia,
exactly, yeah, which we did sing as we drove by. But even like the thrill of just seeing all this sort of stuff, that like a signpost of something it's not exciting to read the letters of a place you heard about, but it actually is when it's in America. And even like the thrill of like even hearing people talk, like the accents, it's great to hear like American accents all over the place.
Yeah, and then as I say, we've just been, like Pete said, we stopped outside Sun Records, which was like a huge highlight of life so far. And like we went to Jack White's place, Third Man Records, we went in there, and so like being able to do all those things, and just as well as obviously the shows have been great, and that's like been going brilliant, but we've also got that kind of big touristy side to us as well.
Here today, we only got here about half an hour ago. We all met up in Times Square with a few friends that have been travelling with us the last few weeks, well, giving us a hand with merch. Sloan and Felix Lenz, they're up and coming, hip happening people. Keep an eye
The
on
fashion biz.
the fashion biz. And yes, we met up with them at Times Square, and then we all walked to Central Park and did all that sort of stuff, and just had a walk around, and it was very cool. We looked at it all before, but it's been 4 years, so we sort of forgot the thrill of seeing it all again. So even like Times Square, I had a very plain hot dog in Times Square, and it was rank. Not worth the $6.75 it cost me, but I can say I did it.
Different kind of tension.
I don't like how do you say plain burger? Plain burger?
I want nothing on it at all, please.
Totally plain.
Yeah. And some French
bare
fries.
bones food, please. Yes.
Well done, whatever the largest fillet steak you can get.
A fillet steak.
A fillet.
mignon.
I'll get a filet mignon, please.
I don't know if what's American the food I eat.
Veggie
Well,
pretty American.
Yeah.
No, I can't do it on the spot.
What is it?
Even-
Can I get a hoagie? The hoagies are things.
Yeah. And we'll find out what it is when we get it.
Yeah, I'll have a Carmichael.
Yeah.
With an audience involved.
Well, we often talk about like if you needed, a new microwave for home, and I'll just put on the rider once, go to the gig, they'll give me a microwave, and then go home with it. Now the thing, like, people don't understand that the rider is your own money; it's taken out of your budget, so you could just go and do a quick shop.
You could buy it, yeah.
You could go and buy a microwave, but no, if we want like, I don't know, credit for your phone would be great. Like €20 each. Everything on the menu.
Yeah.
Credit for your phone would be handy.
You don't want to draw their attention.
My father comes on the road with us because he just
Don't ask him to, but
he's just with us all the time, and he helped us out when we started. He drove us around, and like when we started hearing from labels and stuff, he started managing us, and so he's been a valued part of the organisation for some time. And he says, "Don't be shit" to each of us individually, just as we go out on stage, because we did have a terrible gig one time in Berlin a couple of years ago where we were just so pathetically bad, and he said, "Don't be shit" ever since, and we've fared pretty well since then.
stuck to that.
I'm a coward after all. A different kind of tension.
Extended break. No, when we finish up this tour now, we're going to so we have to go back. We sort of, as I said earlier on, we've sort of finished up touring this album now, so we'll go home and we'll write for a while and all that sort of stuff. We'll sort of
Yeah, we're going to
introduce
take
ourselves to our family.
exactly. Yeah. So we'll take some of the summer months off to just demo and write and get some new ideas together and all that. So 2018 is shrouded in mystery as of yet, but it'll all become clear.
It's on the face of the masses. In a side street cafe, they can't bear to watch, but they're still beautiful.
I am the handle guy. It's for Instagram. It's _Strypes_official because someone got to it before us. Twitter is _Strypes as well. Someone got to it before us. And Facebook, it is just the Strypes. So you should get it there. And it's all blue ticked. It's all above board. It's all, so if it's got a blue tick, it's us.
Yeah, we're legit.
Yeah, yes.